Okay, I'm ready. All right, so everyone's family is different. I think that my family is unique, and what makes my family unique is something not very unique, it's very common, coffee. Coffee represents my family the most, and it plays a big role in my family's closeness. From casual dinners to big family celebrations, coffee is always present. And no day is complete with at least 1 or 2 cups of coffee. My family plays a very important role in my life. We're a very tight-knit family, and pretty much this coffee thing is my family in a can, tub, whatever it is. And I don't mean just my parents, I mean my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, because we're all very close. I try to have dinner with my parents at least every night. But I also have dinner with the rest of my family, maybe every other week, at least once a month. And when we get together, there's about 10 of us, and only 10 of us, there can be about 3 to 4 full pots of coffee made in one afternoon. 1 pot before coffee, 1 or 2 during, and then 1 after. And then if people stay around long enough, there's another one made. And I just think, like, who drinks this much coffee? Like, some people don't even have coffee makers in their house. So, yeah. Now, my family is from El Salvador. So back when they lived in El Salvador, they would, like if they didn't have enough money or they didn't have coffee, they would make a substitute. They would use corn or tortillas, they would roast them, and then they would grind them up like you would regular coffee, and they would make coffee off of that. So I don't know if it's done in other countries, but it was done in El Salvador by my family when they lived there. So I think to many, my artifact may seem like insignificant, like why does this even matter? It's just coffee. But for my family, it's like we sit around, we drink coffee, share stories. That's how we keep in touch with each other. And I think that makes us unique in a sense. Now, being around my family, I think, can be very interesting. Everyone has a sense of humor, very funny, and for some reason, the topic of us poking fun at each other is always weight. You need to lose weight, you're gaining some weight. I don't know what it is, it's always about weight. It's not like we're the skinniest ones, but you need to lose some weight. Have you gained some weight? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because we're trying to be competitive, like I'm skinnier than you, or I don't know. But it reminds me of the other day, a couple weeks ago actually, my grandma, she has high blood pressure. She's like, I'm gonna check my blood pressure because she just had a cup of coffee. Of course, that's bad for her. So she pulls out her little machine, and then my aunt and my uncle turned this into a competition. They wanted to see who was more fit and who was gonna have the lowest blood pressure. My uncle won, his was lower, and my aunt was so mad, and she's like, well, I'm gonna start running and I'm gonna beat you next time. So, yeah, it gets pretty bad. But now my grandpa, I feel like he's the complete opposite. He's very quiet, but he's good at telling stories, even though a lot of the times he stretches the truth. Like sometimes you're just like, I don't know about that, but he sticks with it. We'll tell him like that doesn't make sense, and he'll be like, well, that's what happened, and he'll do it every single time he's telling a story, and he always tells one, like he tells so many, but one that he always tells is about this one time where when he lived in El Salvador, he and 2 of his friends were on their way home on horses, and they needed to cross a river, but the river had gotten really deep and really strong. The current had gotten really strong. So he said that pretty much him and his friend tried to cross it with their horse and donkey, whatever. That didn't work. So then the third guy went and he saved the day and they got out. But when they got out of the water, all of a sudden they didn't have clothes on. And we're just like, how'd you lose your clothes? And he's like, well, the water took all our clothes off. I was just like, okay, I guess. So like all these things are pretty common, like crazy stories like this are common in my household. It's always crazy like that. So, you know, keeping close is important to our family, and I think coffee really helps us do that because we always sit around the table, drink coffee, and I think as strange as it may sound and the weird substitutions that were made in the past, I think coffee will always be a part of my life and my family's life. Yay.